Good morning. My name is Brandon Cavins and I'm a sales rep with FarmLogic. I have been working with farmers all over the country for multiple years helping them with compliance related issues on their farm, from FSA reporting to EPA compliance. For tobacco farmers specifically, we have set up a relationship with Gap Connections to help you with Gap compliance. The FarmLogic system helps you make Gap compliance responsibilities as effortlessly as possible, saving you time and money. The Gap compliance feature is both for new and current users of the FarmLogic system. The FarmLogic system is a record-keeping system that you can do with a smartphone or tablet. The FarmLogic system works with all crops, but it specializes in tobacco management. Showing you here is the FarmLogic website. So you go to farmlogic.com and your browser on your web, and once you're there you want to hit log in. Once you're logged in, you'll get a username and password that you will create on setup, and you'll put in your username. So mine's bcavinsdemo and my password. I then hit log in, and that logs me into the web headquarters. This is the web headquarters of the FarmLogic system, and this is where everybody starts from. So you have your farm ops, you have your soil testing, you have service records, you have scouting records, you have manage your farms and fields, and storage records for your storage facilities, tobacco barns in this case. The biggest part of the FarmLogic system is the My List button. The My List is the brain of the system. And this is where you enter all your information about your farm to help do your compliancy records. So I'm going to start with My List and click on My List. Once I'm on My List, it takes me to another drop down where I have farms and fields, I have crops and varieties, I have equipment, I have chemicals, pests and carriers, different things like that. One of the most important places and the biggest place to start is under your farms and fields, so that's why that's first. So up here on Farms and Fields, you go up to Map View and click on your Map View. Once you click on Map View, that will zoom you in to an area. These are some pre-drawn fields that I already had drawn into the system. Say I want to add a new farm. I go up here to the Farms list. I go to All Farms. I click the drop down. I hit Add New Farms. BC Home Place. State is Kentucky, the county is Callaway, and I hit save. Once I do that, it actually takes me to Callaway County. So this is where I'm setting today. I then go into my fields list, and I have quick pick fields or I have new fields. New fields is what I want to do here today. So I want to put in a new field, go to field name, field 1. I can put in my farm number, which is 2122. My track number is 2345, and my field number is field 1. I can also put in my effective DCP cropland and different FSA known land values. Once I get that set, I hit save. When I hit save, I hit draw boundary, and now I can start trying to find my place. Quick pick is the FSA boundaries already pre-drawn into the system. So these are already mapped out by the FSA office. All you got to do is click on it. Once you click on it, you can actually arrange the dots by moving them, by clicking and dragging those around to fine-tune your acreage. Once you get your acreage set, 44.4 acres. I know that to be correct. I go over here to the top left and I hit save. And that maps in my field. Now say I want to map in another field. I go back, go to field 2. Go to field 2, hit save. And you see it didn't zoom me anywhere at that time. It actually kept me there because most of my fields are going to be right there close together. So I hit the draw boundary again, hit quick pick again. This is my second field, and I just click right on that field. Now, once again, it's out in the trees a little bit, so I can fine-tune it by clicking and dragging across these points. Once I get all my fields drawn, my farm names, all my fields drawn, I can then go back out of my fields list, and then I go to my crops. So I want to go to crops. Right now I've got some crops that are already in there, corn, beans, wheat, but today I'm going to talk about tobacco. So I'm going to go in and hit add new. I'm going to go down and put my tobacco crop in. So I'm going to do dark fire tobacco today. I'm going to hit save, and that adds it into my crops list. So what our crops list does is it's only the crops that pertain to you. You don't have to put in any other crops. It's just your crops. Go into the varieties page. So I need to add a variety. So I'm going to go in here, click on my drop down of my crops, and it's just my crops. I click on dark fire, and I'm going to put in my variety. Today I'm going to plant D14 tobacco. I hit save, and I hit done. I can continuously go on hitting the add new button and adding more records. From the crops list, I'm going to go to my equipment list, and these are some equipment that I've already got in there. My 4-row tobacco cultivator. I've got my planters. So I've got my tobacco planter. I've also got my Kinsey 3600 seeder. I have multiple different pieces of equipment on each farm, and I get to select that through my list. If, say, you need to add another piece, you can go in here and enter. You can enter a friendly name, a manufacturer, model number, serial numbers, and also filter and fluids that you have for that piece of equipment. After you get done with equipment, one of the most important pieces of our system is the chemicals list. So you click down here on chemicals. Once you have a chemicals, we have a complete chemical database in place that's got every chemical in the United States in it. So when you pick a chemical, it gives you the label, the SDS sheet, the EPA number, the active ingredient, the REI, all the stuff that is required for GAP compliance. It's automatically in the system. So I go to add new. I'm going to add a chemical. I want to add in Ridamil. So I type in Ridamil, R-I-D, and there's Ridamil. Now there's multiple different types of Ridamil. The Ridamil for tobacco is Ridamil SL. So I hit Ridamil SL and hit save. Once I hit save, the label pops up automatically, and I can now look at the label of Ridamil SL. I can hit done, and there's my list of chemicals. Now what you do is you go through our big database of chemicals, and once again you just select the chemicals that you use on your farm. If you don't use them, you don't need to put them in your my list. The next piece is tank mix. So I go in here to my tank mix, and I can actually set up custom tank mixes for my setter water, for my pre-tobacco mix, for my burn down for the year, for my soybean burn down. So it doesn't matter if you're doing tobacco or other crops. Like I said, it just specializes in tobacco. The next big piece of GAP compliance is labor. So I can go in here to my labor. I can put in all my employees that are working for me. First name, last name, status, type. I can also view if they're I-9 compliancy, if they were seasonal workers, do they live on the farm? So I can put all that information in. When I have all that information in, I can actually do a time clock. So this is a start-stop time clock. So I'm going to start today working. They're going to start working at 6 a.m. in the morning, and I'm going to start everyone working. Once I have everyone working, say they're coming in for lunch, and they're going to stop at 12, so I stop them at 12. They take an hour break, so I go to 1 o'clock p.m. They're going to start back, and I start them again. What the system's doing is it's tracking time. It's tracking them just like a time clock at any office building. Once they're done for the day, say they finished up at 7, I'm going to hit stop. And it's going to show that they work 6 hours in the afternoon. Now when I click on this more button, it shows that they work 6 hours in the morning, 6 hours in the afternoon, and they've worked 12 total hours. If I need to edit that, say they didn't start back at 12, say they started back at 12:30, I can edit that and change that for my reporting in my compliance. When you put all this information in, you've got the time clock, you've got the employees, you've got your chemicals, you've got everything loaded into your system. What you get out of doing this is you can do your farm records. So you can go into your farm records tab, and you've got your till records, plant records, spray records, fertilization records, harvest ticket, topping records on your tobacco. Now, the cool part and the best part about the FarmLogic system is, yes, you can do it on the web like I'm showing you here, or you can pull it up on your mobile device. So when you're looking at it on your mobile device, you got the farm pad, you got the decision tools for the farm. You hit tap here. The first thing that I want to do when I'm starting for the day or ending a day is sync, because I want to transmit all the data that I put on the web to my mobile device. So I'm going to hit sync. It's going to ask if it's okay. I'm going to hit yes. And what this is doing is sending all the information back and forwards. My phone or my tablet is communicating with the website that I have. Once it's communicated, I hit return home. So I go to my farm ops button. I go to Kentucky. I go to BC home place. This is the fields that we added. I'm going to go to field 1. I'm going to hit next. And I'm going to show you till, plant, spray, fertilize, harvest. Just like it is on the web, only this is on the mobile. I can also view my map on the mobile. So if I click on the map, as you see, that's the exact farm that we just mapped earlier in the demo. Hit done. Once I hit done, I've got my, once again, till, plant, spray, fertilize. Say I want to do a plant record today. I click on plant. I click on my crop. So I'm going to do my dark fire tobacco today. I'm going to put my variety in. I've got D14. I'm going to hit next. When I hit next, it's going to give me the option to put the number of rows that I put in for D14. So if I was split planting or putting multiple varieties of tobacco in one field, I'm going to put 25 rows. Hit done. I put in my population, my depth. Also, I can put in my tank mix from my tobacco transplant water. So I got my Pro, my Advance, and my Riddle Gold in my transplant water. I've got my tractor that I use, the tool that I use, my applicator, start and stop time, and did I apply it to the whole field? If I applied this tobacco to that whole field, all I got to do now is go up here to the top right corner and hit save. Once I hit save, that saves that plant record to go into my gap compliance report. Say I want to do a spray record. I click on spray. I can do my tank mix once again. I've got my tobacco pre-plant mix. So this is before I was actually planting it. I'm going to actually spray it. I can put in my command, a Spartan, Karate. I've got my spray volume, my tractor that I used, my pest, my applicator, who did the work, my crop, start and stop time, wind and temperature. Say my start and stop time, I actually did this before I planted, so I want to hit edit. I want to backdate because I actually sprayed that on April 11th, not April 17th. And I can adjust that. I hit done. And I applied it to the whole field once again, and I hit save. After you enter all your information, you can click on the home page. And when you go back to the home page, this is your normal page, and you want to sync your information. So once again, you go back to the sync information. Once you sync your information, you then go back to the web headquarters page. Once you're on the web headquarters page, you can now go to your gap compliance button. Once I'm at my gap compliance button, it asks me a few simple questions. These questions are the exact same things that you're doing in your gap book now. So you got your conservation practices. Yes, no. If you're not, then what are you doing? But you can say, yes, I do have a conservation plan. Information sources. Where are you getting your information from? I'm getting it from my extension agents. I'm getting it from my tobacco companies. I'm getting it from printed materials that I read. I'm getting my fertilization off of multiple things. Extension, the labs, or even Soil Test Pro, which you have with the FarmLogic system. You can also do your employee training guides. So you can have all your employee trainings. You can go in here to view one of them. Training is me, the Brandon, date that I'm doing the training, Worker safety, we went over general farm safety, machinery safety, and barn and area tobacco safety. I did use one of the safety and training videos, and these are all my employees that were at that training session. Once you do that, what does all this get you? What this all gets you is a one-touch report that you can send to your GAP companies. This is your information. You have the opportunity to create and send to whoever you choose. So I'm going to go for 2014 because that's when I got my data in. I'm going to hit create report, and what it's doing now is compiling the report. The system will compile all the required information for GAP compliance, such as labor and housing, storage facilities, conservation practices, greenhouse records, tillage records, planting records, spray records with EPA number, REI times, active ingredients, and total amounts applied, fertilization reports, topping reports, employee I-9 and training logs, rainfall reports from the National Weather Service, as well as employee time clock. This is taking all the data required for your GAP compliance needs and emailing it to anybody you choose. Once everything has been successfully sent, you're done. And that is our GAP compliance demo. Farmers often ask me, how much does this system cost? The retail cost of the system is $19.99. GAP Connections has negotiated a discounted price of $14.99. This is a one-time fee. There are no updating fees. There are no customer service fees. Our customer service team is available 24/7 and will gladly answer any questions that you may have. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. For more information, go to FarmLogic.com or contact me personally, Brandon Cavins, at 270-978-3066.